Systems are not separate from processes and people. They're not. They're not. And it's easy to get the thought in your mind that processes are one thing, people are another thing, and systems are a third separate thing. And these all required to get done in your business. But what I want to open your mind up to the possibility is that these are all related. That these are the aspect of business that is going to get you profitable. And you've got a couple of challenges. One is the order that you deal with these things. But before we go there, why don't we actually talk about what each of them are? So processes is basically the work steps of getting something done. Now, this could be documented in just a single title. This could be documented in that single title with some major detail. This could be documented major title, steps, and then fine detail. And when you're beginning out with your processes, you might get by just with the title only. That's enough. If you haven't got a large workforce or you do not need specific details, when you're first starting out, maybe just documenting the names of the processes is enough. And as you go along and do those, then you can add in the major steps and then fill in the detail. If you get really fancy, then you can make a video recording of each of those major steps. I wouldn't recommend making a video of the entire process unless it is less than like 2 minutes. If you're making a 12-minute process video, it's a major pain for people to even find out where things are. And yes, there are software that does this, but you still got to navigate through a 12-minute video to find specific details. People just don't do it. And then they skip on the process entirely. So what you want is something that works with people. So who are the people? Well, the people are your team. But if you don't have your processes in place, then your people will just operate by themselves. Not operate by themselves. They will do the best that they can to solve the problems that are in your business. But most of your problems in your business are recurring. They happen over and over. Either they happen on a schedule or they happen when something else happens. A new customer joins or a certain date rolls around. Now, where does this leave systems? Well, the interesting thing about systems, as I suggested, is that they are not separate from these other two things, which is people and processes. What do I mean by that? Well, a system is made up of processes and people do those processes. You wrap that whole thing up and then that is a system. Now, I want you to think about something, and that is when that work of those processes gets done, what happens? What do you get? Well, I'll give you the answer. If you're not sure, it is a result. The processes, the work of the system gives you results. Now, some results will only be an intermediary result. Something happens to get an intermediate result, and then another process has to happen to get a final result. And the customer may only see that. They don't know about the intermediary, but they're interested in it. I was reading a book that I'm loving, highly recommend this, Never Lose a Customer. And they were talking about people don't want to know how sausages are made. But what they found out is that people do want to know how sausages are made. They're interested in that. And they gave the example of the Domino's app, and you order a pizza and then it tracks its production through all of the steps from base being made to toppings being added to entering into the oven, extraction from the oven into the box, onto the driver, and then arriving at your door. It's all tracked. It's fascinating. People love it. It's like, oh yeah, this is super cool. They want to know how the sausage is made. So you have an opportunity to share with your customers about what the processes are. But these are the essentials of understanding systems, that processes are not separate from systems. Processes make up a system. And at a very simple level, you could have one process that gives one result, and that is a system. You could have a very large system, so large that you might actually say, you know what, we're going to split this up into several systems. But at its root, if you added all of those systems up, what you'll find is step, 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 step. And so any system could be listed out as a gigantic series of steps. Some will have timing issues, but overall, there's a whole bunch of steps that could be done. But how you break those up into respective processes and how you group all of that together into systems is the art form of creating systems. But if you think that processes and systems are separate, and you think that people are separate once again, then you will struggle to get your business to actually operate on systems. And if you fail to do that, that traps you in a life of putting out fires, telling your people what to do, dealing with error after error, dealing with unhappy customers, working long hours, never being able to implement any more than one idea into the marketplace because all of your time is consumed with that one business. You can never become the equivalent of Richard Branson. Now, you may not want to do that, but Richard does not work in all of his businesses. He simply cannot. But he has been a master architect of building the processes and systems to get other people to do the work and grow his entire empire. All right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed opening your mind to what systems are, what processes are, what people are, and how they interact with each other. Look forward to seeing you on the next episode as we continue this journey into the power of systems to get results. See you then.